Welcome to Mile High Reefers. I'm Scott Anderson, and it's been a few months since I made my last tank update. Well, a lot's happened. Some good, a lot bad. So let's talk about it. Go over the good, bad, ugly, and try to keep it real. I guess first things first, let's talk about the big bad news. This is probably some of the worst news that I probably could have had. My big clam died. Yeah, that sucked. It's all my fault. If you remember the last video, I was talking about how I sound kind of depressed, I guess, but I really wasn't into the tank. I wasn't doing my job. I wasn't testing the water. I wasn't keeping the aptasia under control. And ultimately, I killed my clam. I'd kept that clam for about 12 years. Started off as a little tiny squamosa, grew it up to this big, giant, beautiful thing, and I lost it. 12 years of hard work, all that growth, and I killed it. Woke up one morning, clam's falling apart, tank looks like it's crashing. I pulled it. I did what I had to do, but it's my fault, and it sucked. It was horrible. I beat myself up for a couple of weeks over the death of this clam. You can say it's 12 years old, maybe it's towards the end of its life. No, that clam can outlive me. They really don't have a definite lifespan that we as reefers need to worry about. Yeah, if it dies in an aquarium, it's pretty much the reefer's fault, right? Like, our job is to keep the tank healthy. I didn't do my job and I killed my clam. So that sucked monkey balls. Yeah. So after a lot of soul searching and hard work and just destroying myself for what I've done, mentally, of course, I decided I've got two options. It's time to shut down the tank. That's one of them. Or I need to dive into the tank and I need to turn it around. So, as you can see, the tank's still here. I chose option number 2. So I've been doing weekly water changes on this tank. I know, right? Probably my most successful video is why I don't do water changes. Well, not doing water changes works brilliantly if you test your water and maintain your tank. You know, if you do your job, if you have all your equipment working right, you're testing the water and you do everything you're supposed to, not doing water changes is a brilliant way to run a tank. That's not what I was doing. I was just neglecting the tank. Well, you can't not do water changes and neglect the tank. So the tank got pretty crappy, like lots of algae growing everywhere, just kind of lots of mechanical problems downstairs. So I kind of dove in, started working all the mechanical stuff, and I went back to doing water changes. 5 gallons out of 450 gallons. Not a lot, but basically I work a 2-2-3 schedule. So I got 2 days on, 2 days off, 2 days on, 2 days off, 3 days on, 2 days off. Kind of like that, right? Well, every time I have a day off, I do a water change either on the big tank or the nano. 5 gallons at a time. Not so much because I need the water change. I mean, adding new water is always a good thing, but it's to get the crap out of the tank. I'm pulling algae, detritus, anything I can get, and I'm doing that every week. And I'm being consistent with it. So every week, this tank and the nano's getting 5-gallon water changes. And it's making a huge difference. Like, this tank 3 months ago was on the verge of crashing. Today, it looks pretty freaking good. So I've brought it back from the brink. It really sucks that I had to lose the thing that I loved the most in this tank, that big clam. But if that's what it took to get me back into the hobby, doing what I'm supposed to do, doing my job, I mean, I guess it was the price I had to pay. There were better ways to do it. I could have been smart and just looked at the tank and been like, oh yeah, this is going wrong. I need to bust my butt and get it right. But mentally, with everything I had going on at the time, I wasn't there. And I should have been, but I wasn't. So I'm back, right? Like, I'm diving into the tank, I'm getting the work done. Does that mean more videos are coming? Yeah, probably not, but at least the tank's gonna start looking better. So let's dive in and see how the tank's actually doing. Probably the biggest change is my Kessels quit working. So I took them down. 2 out of 3 quit working, so I pulled them. Now we still got the 3 Giesmans, the 2 small Kessels, 4 tubes of T5s, and the 2 tubes are the 2 metal halides. Those are 250 watt metal halides. Honestly, I'm loving metal halides. In fact, I'm loving the halides so much, that's the long-term plan for this tank. Halides. In fact, if I get money to upgrade the tank, I'd like to get 3 new halide fixtures. I'd like this tank just to be halides and T5s. Yeah, it's going to take a little extra energy, but honestly, it's the best light around. Oh yeah, debate me in the comments, but I'm convinced halides are the best light around. I've been using them for so long. I've been using the T5s, I've been using the LEDs. Honestly, halide T5 combo, absolutely my favorite. Fish are doing pretty good. The real change is happening with the clownfish. With their clam not being there, they're kind of trying to find a new place to live. So they kind of move between the leathers now, and they haven't quite settled in where they want to be. But things are pretty much working. Otherwise, fish situation's about the same. Everybody's doing very well. The coral situation's actually doing really well. I was taking a lot of losses when the clam first started to die, but all of that has pretty much quit, and in fact I've had so much growth. I've actually moved a bunch of stuff around, so I've opened all this up in the Euphilia area to start getting more growth here. You can see how tightly packed this section is here, so I'll probably pull that frog spawn right there, make a little more room, just trying to provide room for things to grow in. So with that, I'm repopulating this side of the tank, just trying to pack it full of Euphilia. Euphilia does really well in this tank. I have lots of it. But as you can see, we're still battling algae, right? Lots of algae, lots of aptasia. Got a lot of the insidious bounces hanging out. You can see that big thing there. If I was smart, I'd scrape all of those off. They look cool, but they are killers. Yeah, really, the coral are looking very healthy. Everything's just kind of doing exactly what you want it to do. You know, that Duncan colony, it's in a great spot, growing big. My big green pineapple brand just, oh my God, I love that thing. You know, it's just all doing so good. Like this giant colony of kryptonite. I love that thing. And look at it, it's huge, it's beautiful. So easy. Leathers are doing well. They're not as open as they could be because we're pretty early in the morning still. My grandest colony has just gotten massive. One of the concepts with Euphilia placement I've been working on is actually placing the Euphilias in the grandest gardens, and that's working out really well. I'm sure eventually they will grow up the Euphilia, causing problems, but for now, looks beautiful, working great. The algae's really been a problem with it blowing around the tank, getting stuck in the acros and the stony stuff. Been kind of losing these dragon's breath, kind of a problem, but everything else is really doing pretty good. The brains, I mean, it's just all looking exactly as I wanted. And even my Spongoda, that thing was brown for so long with the little changes in lighting and water chemistry and everything. It's bright green again. I'm loving that thing again. To replace the clam on the sand bed, I have this Heliofungia. I've got the mother colony and it spits off little babies. So that's probably what we'll do with the bottom of this tank, is just as we spit off babies, throw more Heliofungias down. Fantastic coral. Absolutely love them. Overview of the tank, things are looking pretty good. I did my water change yesterday. I scraped all the algae, so this is about as good as this tank gets. And the goal is to continue having this tank get better. So what's the plan going forwards? Well, tank's full of my favorite coral. So I really don't need more coral. There's a couple I'd like to find. Branching Leptocerus, anybody? Yeah, good luck finding one of those. I mean, honestly, this tank's packed full of coral. I really only have enough room to account for the growth that this tank's gonna have. So I don't need more coral. So fish then. Oh, fish. Yeah, I don't need more fish. I've got plenty of fish. There's like 13 in this tank, something like that. And it's fine. I don't need more fish. I ran too many fish for too long. I'm really liking kind of the opposite side of things right now, where I run less fish. It's just easier to manage, easier to maintain. And now I'm gonna piss a lot of people off. It's better for the fish to have less fish. I know, everybody wants to have 9 tangs in their tank like I used to have and all of that. It's not the best thing for the fish. So I'm gonna do what's best for the fish, yes. The flamingo's too big. If I had an easy way to get him out, I would. But I don't, and honestly, I think he's not too big for this tank for now, and I think I'm the best person to take care of him. I'm finally back at that point where I'm doing the work on the tank I need to be doing. He doesn't seem stressed out, so it's kind of the right thing to do for the animal, I think. He's not stressed out, he's very healthy, so we'll just leave him alone. So, these fish, lifetime commitment, but I have no plans to get new fish anytime soon. Maybe I'll take a rescue in or something, but honestly, the fish population in here right now is ideal. I don't want more fish. And honestly, if I do my job right, the tangs could last another 10, 20 years. The clowns, same kind of deal. So if I do my job right, I won't be getting any more fish for a while. Which puts me into this weird position where, well, this tank's pretty much just maintenance, right? So I just need to take care of it. Which makes for the world's most boring YouTube channel. That's why part of why I haven't been doing a lot of videos, because who wants to see multiple videos of me cleaning my tank? Yeah, I don't either. Like, I don't want to make those videos, but pretty much that's all I'm doing these days. I'm not getting new fish. I'm not getting new coral. I'm not upgrading the gear. Now, gear I could use some upgrades on. My pumps, those things are literally held together with super glue. They're rough. They're real rough, but they're working. And I own them, so basically they're free. Lighting, it'd be cool to upgrade, but like I said, I'd like to do halides. Oh my God, why halides? Why in 2023 would anybody be dumb enough to run halides on their tank? Honestly, they're the best light going for coral growth, in my opinion. They're a set it, they're a forget it. They don't really get too bright unless you're getting silly with them. Same with the T5s. The coverage is good, the spectrum's amazing, and it just kind of works. Downside is electric bills. The electric bill on this tank is ridiculous with the big pumps and everything. I think about half of my electrical cost for the house is probably this tank. Never really figured it out, but pretty sure about half of it goes to this tank. But honestly, like I was saying, if I was to upgrade, I'd go more halides, T5s. Get rid of the LEDs completely, other than maybe for some night light applications, which I do have a couple night light LEDs up there, which are very minimal. So I would like to make those kind of upgrades, but that's not really a great YouTube channel, is it? Well, I've kind of changed the way I look at the world and think about my life, and I've gone very minimalist, right? So I don't buy things unless I actually need it, and that goes to the aquarium hobby. Fortunately, I have a lot of things. Like I was saying, metal halides, well, I've got about 30 metal halide bulbs on hand, so that'll last a minute. I got all the coral I need. I've got all the fish I need. So maintenance is just me keeping up with it. So the cost of maintaining it's relatively low, which is great for me. I've got a big, beautiful tank that I take care of. But none of this is great for making YouTube videos. There's nothing fun or exciting really happening. I mean, I'm just maintaining and trying to grow it based on what it is. So probably going forwards is going to be much more this style video. Like every 3-4 months, I'll throw something out there, give you guys an update, and let you see what we got coming or what's been going on. But honestly, it's not going to be too much more than just growing fish and coral out. It's the main goal, right? As LEDs die, I'll probably throw up more halides. I mean, the goal would be to get 3 250 watts up there. That would be ideal for this tank, I think. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and enjoying life. So thanks for watching this episode of Mile High Reefers. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm sure there'll be a next one. Laters.